I say it nearly every single video now, but you guys seem to absolutely love my way too early 2024 AFL trades. And it's really nice to see you guys showing me some love and affection. Again, I've got no women to do that other than my anime blow-up doll, which keeps me company. It's obviously a joke. I don't own an anime blow-up doll. But you know what? You guys seem to love the videos, so I thought, fuck, why not? Let's do a part 6, part 69. Fuck, I don't even know what part we're up to right now. But there's been a ton of AFL trade news to talk about. So, you know, we got to talk about it. And in similar fashion, I start off kind of every video talking about a Richmond rumor because there's about 286 every single day. I wouldn't be surprised if Toby Nankervis requests a trade to the Frankston Dolphins like in next week's AFL trade video, but that's not what we're talking about today. Previously, I actually talked about how there was rumors going around online that Richmond were interested in Elijah Sardis, and in that video, I also talked about how I heard from a couple different posts here and there as well that rumors say that Richmond are not only interested in Elijah Sardis, but could be very interested in Ben Hobbs. Again, funny that I actually talked about that in that video because a recent report is saying that rivals are keeping tabs on the Essendon midfielder. Out of favour, Essendon midfielder Ben Hobbs is reportedly being eyed off by rival clubs. Hobbs, who has featured in 10 games throughout 2024, has struggled to cement his spot. Who the fuck is trying to message me? You're cock-blocking my video. Hobbs has struggled to cement his spot in the Bombers side as the emergence of Jai Caldwell and Sam Durham has seen them leapfrog him. Again, Essendon's midfield is one of the weirdest things at the moment right now because they have these ton of really good midfielders, and for so long they've just lacked that star power in there. But with the rise of Durham and obviously Jai Caldwell, you're starting to see that star power truly answer. Again, we need to start seeing it more from the back line and the forward line, but there definitely are some stars in that midfield now. And it's really funny because over the last couple of drafts, they've seen the midfield as an absolute weakness when there are some games where it's actually their strongest part now. You've got Zach Merritt, Durham, Caldwell, Stringer from time to time, Darcy Parish when he's not injured with 888 different things, Dylan Shield, all of these guys doing their things. You got the wingmen they're experimenting with like Hind. And then you've got the two guys, Elijah Sardis and Ben Hobbs, who just haven't been able to crack into the team because there's 9 guys in favor of them. And it's really difficult for them because I think they came in expecting to have first crack, and not only have they not been able to prove themselves, but it just hasn't worked out. Elijah Sardis kind of got moved straight away to the wing when he became a Bomber, and now they've got about 4 guys they'd rather rotate through there than him. Ben Hobbs straight away came in as an inside midfielder and has just really struggled to cement his spot. We know the Richmond Tigers right now are looking for some speed desperately in that midfield. They have one of the slowest midfields I have ever seen in league history. Jacob Hopper, Tim Taranto, and Dion Prestia, when those 3 blokes are in that center bounce together, it's like sometimes watching 3 fucking turtles run to the ball while you've got all of these new and improved speedsters running in the league. You got Connor Rozee, Zach Butters, Nick Dacos, all of these dudes who are fast as fuck and the modern footballers. The Richmond midfielders just can't keep up. It's pretty much actually like the plot of Cars 3. Not that I think that's a good movie, but if any of you have seen it, Lightning McQueen is like the old-fashioned, race car that was good 5 years ago, but now there's this new modern-day built car who's basically just touching him without consent on the race course. And that's basically what every midfield is doing to Richmond's. Not only do Richmond have no flexibility in there, they've got no speed. Again, I think Elijah Sardis would actually be a cool option for Richmond. He seems to be that more silkier player who could come in and play a bit more of that outside role to the already inside Bulls that the Tigers have there. I just don't know if Ben Hobbs is the option for Richmond, and you can tell that they are the rival club most likely who are definitely keeping an eye on him and are probably doing their research right now to find out if Hobbs is the missing piece for them. I personally don't think he really is. I mean, they had the pick over Ben Hobbs and Josh Gibcus a couple years ago, and they took Josh Gibcus, and even though he's had like 18 broken backs, pussies, cracks, whatever the fuck he's always injured with, I still think they definitely made the right move there, because in the short amount that we've seen of Josh Gibcus, especially in the 2 games he played in 2024, he was absolutely incredible and looked like a generational player, while Ben Hobbs really hasn't shown anything yet. A trade request recently came out, which touched me very inappropriately, and I absolutely loved it. It's basically the first one of 2024, being said that Alex Neil-Bullen has advised Melbourne that he wishes to be traded to a South Australian club at season's end per the Age. Again, I think everyone kind of thought it was going to be Port Adelaide, especially with Dan Houston being linked to Melbourne for so long. But as we know right now, it doesn't seem like Dan Houston's interested in Melbourne. There was a report posted a bit ago that said that Houston just doesn't like what he sees with Melbourne's future right now, and he doesn't really see the vision. Of course, that could really just change with one meeting over KFC at some bloke's house or something like that. You could definitely convince him to come. But I have a feeling with the other reports as well, it seems like Adelaide are going to be the club that is most likely going to trade for Neil-Bullen. Adelaide have not been the best drafters in the last couple years. That's no secret. But at least a couple of their players are finally starting to come on, like Riley Thilthorpe, who I never thought was going to actually do it, and now he looks like the Incredible Hulk, and holy shit, does he, when he touches you, you fucking know you've been touched, because, my God, that man looks like he's shooting fucking all the herbs and spices that made Arnie big straight up his arsehole. That's what that guy looks like he's doing. But yeah, obviously Neil-Bullen would be good for Adelaide. I think with them historically not being the greatest drafting team, I would look to take a really good player in the top 10. I would still look at Lukosius and Neil-Bullen and all of these players as options to trade in for. And then you also look at the other side of the things. Port are probably going to have to trade Houston away. They've got a ton of players in GWS they're looking at, like I think Peatling is one of them. Perryman is another one, I believe. They got a ton of guys they are continuously looking at. They'll also look at Jack Lukosius. I'm sure they'll look at Neil-Bullen. But yeah, Neil-Bullen might be last on their priorities at the moment, because they've got a ton of things to do this off-season, like they basically have to do every single off-season. If I was Melbourne though, this sucks. Neil-Bullen is low-key one of their most underrated players. He's kind of the glue to their team. He's a really underrated midfielder when he goes in there, and he's a pretty lethal small forward as well, and has been doing it for a couple years. This is a massive loss for Melbourne, and if Adelaide can make this happen, having a forward line of Rankin, Neil-Bullen, and obviously Rashali most likely in there, those guys roving around Thilthorpe, who should take a massive step next year, will be something the eyes would very much like to see, like Selena Gomez for the longest amount of time. You know what? Still Selena Gomez. She's still fucking hot. I've said it. Benny Blanco, you can kiss my ass. Fuck you. I actually really like Benny Blanco's music, so I don't know why I said that. And yeah, as mentioned earlier, it says the Adelaide Crows are expected to make a trade play for Gold Coast Jack Lukosius. We know it seems like Gold Coast are trying to move on from him. It makes sense. They have a ton of great quality tools, and he hasn't found his role at Gold Coast. I think Port Adelaide will look at him too, but Adelaide are obviously there, and will definitely do a lot of research on him and Neil-Bullen. It's also being said that clubs are keeping tabs on Liam Ryan's availability on the trade block amidst circling trade rumours per 9 News. Despite 2 years left to run on his contract, Ryan is tempted by 3+ year deals from rival clubs. Again, even though he's been injured for quite a bit, I believe he's only like 27, and it showed that his speed really hasn't gone too much. It also shows that he's still got a very nice, I think, way of getting the ball and be creative with it. The thing is, I expect the club to definitely offer about 3 to 4 years to get Ryan to the team. I really don't know who that is going to be. I would have said Fremantle originally, but obviously Shea Bolton going to Freo and them really wanting Liam Baker, they've got their eyes full on these smaller, speedy players. Again, Adelaide seem to really be trying to hit the trade market this off-season, being interested in Neil-Bullen and Lukosius. I think Ryan will also be another player they do decide to look at. An interesting one who I feel like no one is talking about whatsoever, who would kind of suit him really well, actually does happen to be the Saints. Again, in Ross Lyon's first year with the Saints, they would often have this game style that was pretty chip kick around until you find the right option, and then you absolutely go guns blazing and have a massive load of speed through their wings and high half forwards. Similar to what Hawthorn are doing now, and similar to what Richmond basically created in their flag years. But obviously, for some reason in this year, that just really hasn't worked. They brought in Liam Henry to try and add to that. He's been injured basically the whole year. I think Brad Hill has missed a fair bit of footy. Dan Butler is like half the player he was last year as well. Jack Higgins has had to play a lot more midfield time because of the lack of midfield depth they have on this team. And they've just gone to this really crappy chip kick, slow offense that I think Ross Lyon definitely doesn't want to do. I think Ross Lyon would be pitching to Liam Ryan and saying, look, we want to bring you in on this 4-year deal. We'll bring back Henry next season. We'll bring you in. Hopefully the team will be a bit more fit. Of course, we will go out and draft some more quicker players too, add some more midfield depth. And then all of a sudden, next year, we can go from a forward line that was just pretty much Higgins in there half the time and an old Butler to you, Higgins. Liam Henry will probably play a bit more forward time next year as well. Whatever goes on with Dan Butler, I don't know. A potential another small forward they might go and draft. I think Ross Lyon will have a lot to pitch to a dude like Liam Ryan. I actually think he'd be kind of a cool team to go to. They seem to be like they need to go out and get some more pieces to really fill out this team, and they can try and make another push for the 8. Of course, I'd very much like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions down below. Who do you guys think any of these players we've talked about should go to? Do you think Liam Ryan could be on like the Saints radar, or do you guys think another team like Adelaide might look at him? I really don't know what you guys think. Fucking let me know down below, of course. Subscribe to my gaming channel and my IRL/vlogging channels. Links for them will be in the description down below. And I guess I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.